I'm Sammy Paley, and welcome. Welcome to episode 1. That was me 100 videos ago, and my goodness, a lot has changed. And in this video today, I really want to share with you some of the key lessons I've learned in 100 videos, 2.5 years as a YouTuber. I am still vowing to keep going for you. I want to keep going, keep making content, but this 100th video milestone is a huge one, and I am so grateful you're all here. Thank you so much. You are the author of your own story. Let's get into it. Now, every video I make on this channel revolves around one very important idea to me, and it's the idea that every single one of us is the author of our own story. And this right here is the idea that brings that concept to life. And so, idea has 4 different components. They have identity for I, direction for D, execution for E, and authenticity. And I really believe that if you follow those 4 things are in alignment, you will have a fulfilled life and you will live the life that you are meant to. And I've realized that if you want to do anything, there are 2 components to it, and it's very simple. 1 is you just need to start, and 2 is you just need to keep going and keep learning. And if you do that, if you go watch my first few videos, my first 10, my first 20, my first 40, my first 100, they are not as good as my next 100 will be. But I could not have gotten those reps and those iterations had I stopped.
Any of you listening, if you, especially if you have 0 videos on your channel, your first video is not going to get views. Period. It's not. Your first 10 are not going to get views. I can very confidently say that. So stop sitting there and thinking for months and months on end, and just get to work and start uploading. Like, all you need to do, this applies to people who have not uploaded videos but have dreams of being a YouTuber, is make 100 videos and improve something every time.
This is Mr. Beast, and he is the biggest YouTuber on the platform. And a lot of people don't realize how this guy grinded for years without seeing any traction at all. But like any successful person, he just stuck to it and he kept going. And it's amazing to see what he's able to do now. I don't know if you can relate to this, but for me, on my own journey, I often am plagued by doubt and this fear of, well, what if things don't work out? What if all of this time I'm spending is leading nowhere? And that's something I still have to remind myself of, but this next video I'm going to show you really shows that aggressive patience and this persistence is the single most important aspect of creating and living the life that you want.
Heard the story of the pottery class?
All right, wow. This feels like total modern wisdom.
Is this where someone comes in behind and then holds the thing in front?
There's a teacher and he's got 2 classes that he teaches. And one class, he says, the only assignment for this whole semester is that you come back with a perfect clay pot. That's it. That's the assignment. The other class, he says, your objective is to make the most total quantity of clay pots, and you'll be measured by how many pots you make. And at the end of the quarter, the pots that came from the team that had to just make sheer volume, not only did they make more pots, but the quality of all of their pots was better compared to the teams that only had to make 1. And it just underlines the biggest lesson that I've learned in my life, which is that volume negates luck. You can try to be lucky and pick the one perfect thing and try and make it, but if you don't want to try and be lucky, you can just do so much work that you will brute force your way to figuring it out.
As I was planning this video, I was trying to think of the best way to incorporate the lessons I've learned over 100 videos. It's a vast ocean of things I could dive into. And I realized that I want to share with you one lesson from each component of the idea framework. Now, to reiterate, the entire philosophy on this channel is that every single one of us is the author of our own story. As you watch this video, you are writing pages in your story. As you go about your day today, you are writing pages in your story. And this frame really adds so much different substance to all the events and all the chapters that we've gone through. The single most important part of your identity is having a sense of why you do everything that you do. And so a little fun fact about this channel is that it actually used to not just be my name, it used to be called Awaken Your Potential, and that came from this book here. Napoleon Hill is a 1930s author, and in his book The Law of Success, he had this one line that kind of sent like a lightning bolt of energy through me, and it said this: "Then and there, I realized that my purpose in life was to help people uncover their dormant potential and then act on it." And I realized in that moment that is exactly what I want to do. And now the iteration of it has changed to I want to help you live the life that you're meant to and help you be the author of your own story. But identity and this awareness about who I am and my core purpose in helping you has really helped give me purpose in every day, in every video, and in every piece of content I make. So before we move into the directional component of the lessons I've learned there, I want you to take a moment to think about why you do everything you do. Mine is to help you live in line with the person that you're meant to be. But what is your why? Why do you get out of bed every morning? What inspires you to write the chapters of your story every single day? And so to build on the idea of direction, imagine that you are a character in the story, right? And the identity is who you are. Direction is the path that this character is on. And you go to any movie ever, the character will always be on some sort of adventure. And you right now are on some sort of adventure too. And so for me, the biggest takeaway I've had from direction is that no one ever truly has their own direction figured out. There's moments when you have lots of clarity and you have a lot of sense of where you're going. But the amount of times I've debated not sticking on this path because perhaps it's taking too long to grow, or I'm not seeing a ton of results, it's staggering how much my direction has meandered. But as long as you keep showing up and you keep asking yourself, does this feel right? You can continue to go down the path that you're meant to go down. And I've realized that YouTube, as much as, yeah, growth is cool, I am more interested in doing this for creative expression and for putting myself out there and for learning about myself and learning about the world than I am about the metrics on screen. And so directionally, my route on YouTube has changed from one of like, oh, do I want to do this full time, to one of like, I will not stop doing this because of the creative input and the creative expression that it allows me to have. Okay, so identity is who the character is, direction is the path the character's on, and execution is the steps that the character takes while on the path. And to achieve anything you want in your life, it requires execution. It requires taking action, and the simple solution to all of it is to simply show up over and over and over and over again. Tired? Show up. Motivated? Show up. Don't feel like it? Show up. Not feeling great? Show up. You cannot replace taking the action it takes to create the life that you want. There is genuinely no shortcuts. And the person who I think emulates that the most is Kobe Bryant. And me, being in my 24th year, I've really taken so much inspiration from Kobe and his Mamba mentality and his stick-to-itness, because it makes you see that genuinely any life that you want to create is on the other side of hard work, showing up, and taking action consistently. We've uncovered identity, the character, who the character is, direction, the path that this character is on, execution, the steps that this character takes while on the path. And my belief is that if you do those things, you understand who you are, you understand where you're headed, and you understand how you're getting there today, you will live an authentic life. And the byproduct of authenticity is fulfillment. Now, what I'm most proud about on this channel and all the work that I put out there is that anyone who meets me talks about how authentic my content feels, how real I seem to be. And I'm not putting on a facade. I'm not trying to be someone I'm not. This YouTube journey has helped me become comfortable in my own skin. And I feel like we all have these frames of how we think people want us to act, but the only way you should act is in accordance with who you authentically are. And it's easier said than done. But as you go through life and you realize you follow what feels right to you, it doesn't need to make sense to anybody else. And again, that's why I do YouTube. I do YouTube because it's a way to authentically express myself. It's a way to learn deeply about myself. And so I get more out of all of these videos than any of you will. But that's why I do it. Of course, I have you in mind as well as the audience member. But my objective is that by showing my authentic story, sharing my authentic truth, that you can use myself and my story as a mirror to look within yourself to uncover who your authentic self is. So, my friends, this has been 100 videos on YouTube, actually like 103. but it is just so fulfilling to be able to put these videos out there, to create this community, and I vow to keep going to help you live the life that you're meant to. And so I'm so grateful for this community. You are the author of your own story, so go live a life worth writing about. Thank you so much, my friends. I'll see you next time. 103 paper clips now in that jar, and I will not stop. This is just so fulfilling. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate you all.